gentlemen, welcome to the 14th edition of the African Banker Awards. After Washington, Istanbul, Arusha, Marrakesh, Kigali, Abidjan, Lusaka, Ahmedabad, Busan, and Malabo, this is the first time in 14 years that we will be meeting virtually with viewers in over 30 countries. I'm your host, Nozipho Shabalala, and today we're going to celebrate the stars from our banking community. Now, the African Banker Awards indeed recognize the achievements of companies and individuals that are helping to drive Africa's transformation. Of course, we didn't think we'd be celebrating the 2020 edition in this way, but in an era of social distancing, we look forward to recognizing and celebrating the winners together from different parts of Africa and the world. Now, the format of the events has changed a little, obviously, and we will hear from our winners themselves as they accept their awards. We also have a few surprises up our sleeves. So, fix your favorite drink, relax, and enjoy the show. First, I'd like to introduce the publisher of African Banker, group publisher of IC Publications, and producer of this awards ceremony, who's streaming from our studio in London. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Omar Ben-Yedder.
Thank you, Nozipho, the wonderful and talented Nozipho, who today is sporting the winning red and white colours of Bayern Munich and Liverpool. Yes, tonight it's all about winning. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the 14th edition of the African Banker Awards. The awards, as you know, is an opportunity to bring about the African banking community and leaders from across industry together, and I hope we'll be reunited soon. One problem I'm happy not to be dealing with this year is the problem of tables and having to refuse people when the allocation of seats is over and oversubscribed. But it's a problem, I tell you, I'm happy to manage to get us all together under one roof in the not so distant future. Was there ever a chance of us not holding the awards? Never. It is actually in times of crises that we need to get together, we need to support each other, as well as recognize and encourage best practice and share the success stories of the wider community, what others are doing and how they're striving to succeed and do better, ultimately to showcase what is being done. Irrespective of what people are saying about the future of work, I miss being on the ground on the continent. Yes, I've just come back from 10 fantastic days in Tunisia, but I do miss being on the ground in East, West, North, Central and Southern Africa. Every time I come back with ideas and energy and renewed hope and optimism. We will need a lot of the latter two to rebuild our economies and build them better. Warren Buffett, the investor, likes to say that it's when the tide goes out that you can see who has been swimming naked. But when I see what's been done over the past 6 months, I think that we've stepped up to the challenge. It hasn't been all plain sailing at our group. Media and events have been badly hit, but diversification across many areas of communication and business intelligence has stood us in good stead, and as a group, we've produced some of our best content, our best work. And from the discussions that I've had with numerous clients, I know that many have also stepped up to the challenge. We've worked with the African Development Bank, the UN Economic Commission for Africa, the Afri-Exim Bank, and we've seen them step up to the plate, playing that lead role that is necessary in a time of crisis. Resilience is a word we've used frequently over the past 10 years in Africa, a word that we've used in our magazines, and that's because we've lived through crises, and it's one of our greatest strengths as Africans. Collaboration, cooperation, courage, these are some of the attributes we've seen and some of the ones we'll need, to help our economies rebound. Courage for entrepreneurs and business leaders to take risks. And collaboration and cooperation, as united, we're stronger. There is no room for further fragmentation, we know that. But ultimately, the fundamentals haven't changed. Banks will have to play that lead role. And we, those of us in positions of leadership and privilege, have an even bigger responsibility. We have a responsibility to make sure that we raise that tide, and more importantly, that the less fortunate boats and dinghies rise with us, supporting those smaller institutions and those less fortunate to be able to work remotely. Those who have succeeded at our awards have shown this courage, this boldness, and an ability to lead, to experiment, to forego short-term gain for longer-term greatness. Our economies are counting on our banks and financial institutions to play a lead role in rebuilding our economies and contributing to a sustainable growth model. To paraphrase an African industrialist, we need to show that confidence and that yes, it can be done attitude, because no foreign investor will come in and build our domestic economies. We must be the ones to move first. Lastly, I'd like to thank all our supporters of both the awards and our group. We don't take it for granted, and we hope that the work we do is contributing to helping take the continent forward on its journey of socio-economic growth and development. Thank you to our patron, the African Development Bank. You can tune in to their annual meetings that started yesterday. Thanks also to our platinum sponsor, the African Guarantee Fund, to our long-standing supporter who are one of our founding sponsors, Nigeria's Bank of Industry, and also Moza Banco, led by an experienced banker, João Figueiredo. Thank you all, and I hope you have a great evening tonight, or actually it's no longer an evening, a great afternoon today at the African Banker Awards 2020. Thank you once again.
Now, let's hear from one of our esteemed partners, Mr. Eric Boma, Group Director of Subsidiaries African Guarantee Fund, on the role of their institution in driving the growth of African economies and their contribution and support to SMEs in the current crisis.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome Eric Mboma, Group Director of Subsidiaries at the African Guarantee Fund. Eric, welcome to the African Banker Awards 2020.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. We'll go straight into it, Eric. I'll put you on the spot, and hopefully you'll enlighten us in terms of what you've been up to and what the fund is doing in this very critical time. So crises are a time when institutions such as yours are put to the test, really. Can you tell us about the past 6 months and how you have worked with banks across the continent?
I think two things comes to my mind answering to your question. The first thing was that it's an opportunity to go back to our fundamentals. Our purpose is to support the SME space through the financial services. And that was exactly what we needed to do as a matter of urgency. So it meant looking at our product line and making sure that we respond fast enough to the demands of the financial institutions. It was also a time to look at ways to support banks in strengthening their own compliance and risk mitigation strategies. We did that. It was a time of improving with banks their weighted assets risk, if you wish. We supported with that, and I think more critically, it was a time to support banks in raising additional capital to support their balance sheet.
Fantastic. Well, you've had a busy 6 months then. So tell me, what's your outlook over the next 6 to 12 months for banks and for SME lending in particular?
Absolutely. Look, we have looked at the market over the last few months, and it remains imperative for us, and that's what we see banks doing, to at first stabilize our portfolios, stabilize their portfolio, making sure that they provide needed support with a COVID-19 focus. Basically, as far as understanding the impact of that unfortunate event at the global level. And the second phase that we see coming after the next 6 months, depending on how the pandemic is being handled here and there, is going to be a phase of sort of reinvigorating the economies and going back to supporting new lending opportunities on the markets.
So it's you're confident? Over the outlook is confident from the bank's perspective?
I guess every country is going to be different. Every jurisdiction will have different ways to react depending on how they've actually acted already to support their own economies. But I would say overall, we're seeing here and there some signs that are showing obviously crumbling economies in some places where the shock is being felt quite harshly. but we also see some positive signs here and there where the economy has been where the economies have been able to react fast enough. I mean, the story with China, when you see looking at China itself, they were the first to be facing the pandemic, and you can see some small positive sign coming up. So this is putting me in a place where we can be optimistic but careful.
Great. Are there any actions that you feel we can take as banks and as a fund like yours to help soften the impact of COVID on businesses and SMEs in particular, and also to help kickstart that recovery that you're talking about? What are the actions that we can take?
I think the action can be summarized around a couple of priorities. The first one is to make sure that liquidity is protected and secured for the SMEs themselves, but also for the banks. It means that all the stringent requirements and elements of regulation should be looked at carefully so that we protect the fundamentals. We make sure that the rationale of the economy are protected, but we make sure that liquidity is provided. We make sure that SMEs can still be protected as they go back to normal, as the economies are opening up gradually.
And you speak of liquidity. Is there a special message to the regulators or a particular message to them in terms of what more can be done in terms of them supporting the banking institutions?
Well, although many economies, especially in the more developed side of the world, have already implemented Basel III, and it's quite demanding, requirements, I would say that where the economies can be supported with, a reduction of the reserve requirements, we should do that within measure. I think we should support credit guarantee schemes wherever they're available. And where they don't exist, we should make sure that they are made available and built and managed in the rigorous way that we do manage our own institutions. We're AA rated because of that. I would say that it's also important to that central banks support the liquidity of the banks, the commercial banks operating under their supervision. And maybe, as I would say, revising the provisioning requirements and the classifications of, rules of specific loan categories should be looked at.
Great. Eric, thank you very much for your time, and congratulations for the sterling work that the fund is doing, that the team at the fund is doing, and for supporting the backbone of our economies, which are the SMEs. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Now to our first award, the Socially Responsible Bank of the Year. Now, this award goes to the African Bank, which has shown through company policies and projects the greatest socially responsible practices. Let's congratulate the nominees and discover the winner for this category.
We are glad that Equity has won this great award. Our purpose speaks about being a socially responsible organization. It speaks of us being more than a bank. So we have combined financial services and social responsibility. And we are glad that we are being recognized and that this is outwardly visible.
Congratulations to Equity Bank, a fantastic bank that just keeps on growing and giving. Now, our second award celebrates an African bank or institution that has contributed the most to financial inclusion.
My name is Mwangi Ethaiga. I'm the Managing Director of Kenya Women Microfinance, otherwise known as KWFT. I would like to take this opportunity to thank African Development Bank for giving us this opportunity to participate in this activity and showcase the job that we do through our 241 branches across the country. Kenya Women is located in Kenya, East Africa, and we serve 800,000 women across the country, and we are in 95% of this country as we go. We are very, very happy on behalf of the women to win this award and their families across the board. The women are out there doing their very best and working with their families to make sure that they place food on the table and they make a decent life out of their activity. On behalf of the board of management and the staff, we are very, very pleased to have won this award. Yet again, it confirms that the job we do is a job that is worth to be spread across the whole world. Thank you very much, and God bless all of you.
Indeed, a job worth spreading around the world. A big congratulations to Kenya Women Microfinance Bank. And now, the award for Deal of the Year on the equity side. The nominees for this category are
DENHAM is honored to receive the Africa Banker Awards for the Deal of the Year Equity, for its role as financial advisor on MTN Nigeria's listing by introduction on the Nigeria Stock Exchange. The MTN Nigeria listing was the most significant new listing in Nigeria in almost a decade, entering the NSE as the second most capitalized stock, and provided Nigerian and international investors an opportunity to participate in the ownership of the largest Africa telecoms company. We believe the listing would be a catalyst to all the large unlisted companies in Nigeria and across Africa to consider going public. We're humbled by the recognition of our work in developing domestic capital markets, and thank MTN Nigeria for trusting us with this important assignment. Thank you very much.
For the next award, which is the Best Deal of the Year on the fixed income debt side, the nominees are
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and a pleasure for me to speak to you today, albeit virtually, at the African Banker Award 2020. I hope that you and your loved ones are all well and safe during these troubling times. I am delighted to accept the award for Deal of the Year debt awarded to the Bank of Industry Euro 1 billion syndicated senior loan facility this year. This transaction, which can be considered landmark both in Nigeria and the African syndicated loan market in general, was coordinated and lead arranged by Afrexim Bank and Credit Suisse. Having originally been sized at Euro 750 million, The debt raising was successfully upsized to Euro 1 billion through a general syndication that secured liquidity from over 20 investors, where Afreximbank is acting as facility agent and security trustee. This debt transaction stands out in many ways. By leading this transaction, Afreximbank actively facilitated the opening of the cross-border market for loans to Nigerian financial institutions, as well as bringing down the pricing and stretching out the maturity from 3 to 5 years for the Regional Development Finance Institution Bank of Industry. Furthermore, the transaction can be considered the last underwritten syndicated loan in Africa to successfully close oversubscribed pre-onset of the pandemic-induced economic crisis, a crisis that unfortunately continues to show its effect on our continent and its debt and equity markets today. And last but not least, this transaction was enabled by a remarkable diversity of investors ranging from African and non-African banks and financial institutions, as well as development financial institutions. In its role as coordinating mandated lead arranger and book runner, Afreximbank prides itself in playing an instrumental role in achieving this outcome. The award today is a further recognition of the bank's continued efforts to achieve its developmental mandate and strategic initiatives under its current 5-year strategic plan, dubbed the Impact 2021 Africa Transformed. Looking ahead, the bank remains committed to being a market leader in the syndicated loan market and continuing to leverage capital into the African continent. On this journey, we look forward to continuing the partnership and cooperation successfully developed with all of you over the past years. The Bank of Industry syndicated loan is a wonderful testimonial of the value of such partnership. May I take this opportunity to thank the organizers and hosts of these Banker Awards, the African Development Bank and Banker and African Banker Magazine, for this recognition. Thank you and God bless.
Congratulations to the three banks, Afreximbank, Bank of Industry, and Credit Suisse. An incredible testimony of collaboration with meaningful impact. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this award will go to the infrastructure deal which has had the most significant impact. This is part of the African Development Bank's high fives of integrating Africa.
Firstly, we were super pleased to be awarded this recognition from the African Banker for the Maputo Port transaction. Our funding of the port was a very important piece of infrastructure, and we were extremely pleased to be involved in the funding. There are a number of people to thank for the work that was put in, both on the client side as well as on our team side, and I'd extend warmest appreciation from our side for all the efforts on the part of Maputo Port, as well as on our teams, both in Mozambique and in South Africa.
A warm congratulations from all of us to Standard Bank. The African Banker Icon Award is a very special award. It's to recognize a person who's not necessarily a banker, but who is or has contributed to banking, finance, or markets in a meaningful way. This year's winner is notable for what are unique achievements, and she, yes, it's a notable woman, and she is being recognized for not only an outstanding and exemplary career, but for the transformative and pioneering work in capital markets, cementing her company as the go-to player when it comes to ratings in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, our African Banker Icon of the Year is... Congratulations to the outstanding Vivian Shobo, who has led the credit ratings agency Augusto & Co. for nearly 2 decades. You can say that she has single-handedly facilitated billions of dollars of transactions in Nigeria and beyond, having expanded its services to East Africa. And it's thanks to her work that many corporations and institutions have managed to raise money on capital markets, and she has always conducted these banking achievements in the most humble and understated ways. She's created a true African giant that we should all be proud of. Now, let's hear a few words from Vivian.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is indeed a great privilege to have been chosen as the winner of the African Banker Icon Award 2020 in recognition of my work at the helm of Augusto & Co., as well as Augusto & Co.'s contribution to the growth and development of the debt capital market in Nigeria and beyond. It's also very heartwarming to have been chosen from amongst my peers. Over the years, the market has recorded tremendous growth in complexity and business volume, from the federal government being the sole issuer to various issuers from various industries participating in the market. Augusto & Co. has been privileged to have participated in most of these transactions, thereby helping enterprises to grow and develop. I'd like to thank the Almighty for being with us always as we navigated our way through a complex market like Nigeria. I'd also like to thank my husband, Benga, and my children for their unflinching support and sacrifice over the years. Finally, I would like to thank my founder, Mr. Bode Augusto, for entrusting Augusto & Co. to me, and my colleagues Yinka and Isaac for their hard work and commitment through the years, and the rest of the team. This is for all of us. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Congratulations again, Vivian. It is in adversity that you can tell a person's character, or so the saying goes. The winner of our Finance Minister of the Year has not been dealt an easy hand. It has been a challenging time, to say the least. But this year's winner has shown remarkable courage, grit, determination, and skill to push through reforms, as well as shore up government coffers to withstand the financial and economic pressures of COVID-19 and the collateral damage that it has inflicted. This year's winner is another remarkable person who has also shown the human qualities that are so important in public service, those of humility, integrity, and strength of conviction to do the right thing. She has shown visionary leadership, but also pragmatism, showing an ability to work with different stakeholders to set a roadmap for a better tomorrow. We are so delighted that this year's Finance Minister of the Year is Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, Minister of Finance of Nigeria. She has pushed through long-due reforms in the fuel and energy spheres and is working substantially to increase the tax base in the country through a set of fiscal reforms, and has managed to successfully negotiate with multilateral and international partners new lines of credit for the country. She is an inspiration to many, and this accolade is to recognize her work in navigating a ship while facing what may look like unsurmountable waves and unfathomable headwinds. Congratulations. gentlemen, this award goes to the African bank which has brought the most innovative practices to the industry, particularly through the use of technology.
Thank you, African Bank, for giving us the award of innovation in financial services. But this award is the culmination of work that has been done by thousands of people before us. It started at the foundation of the bank when President Eyadema of Togo was able to create an innovative instrument that allow EcoBank, ETI in Togo to own banks across Africa. It was not in the law then, it was an innovation. We continue to pioneer that because we believe manufacturing centrally and distributing in various countries enable us to scale, enable us to industrialize, but also enable us to make sure it is fit for purpose in our various countries. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to EcoBank, a pioneering spirit delivering innovation across the continent. Now, before we discover the rest of the winners, I'd like to introduce a comedian so in love with multiculturalism in Africa. He is in fact Moroccan, but grew up in Côte d'Ivoire, the country where we were supposed to hold the African Banker Awards this year. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Wallace.
Bonjour, bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien. Je m'appelle Wallace, je viens de Côte d'Ivoire. La plupart des gens à qui je dis je viens de Côte d'Ivoire, ils me disent mais qu'est-ce que t'es allé faire là-bas? Et je vous cache pas que moi aussi, quand j'ai un peu grandi et que je commençais à devenir un peu plus grand et responsable, je suis allé voir mon père et je lui ai dit papa, explique-moi, qu'est-ce que tu es venu faire en Côte d'Ivoire? Parce que tous tes frères et sœurs, ils ont immigré vers les États-Unis, le Canada, la France. Toi, tu es allé en Côte d'Ivoire. Mon père m'a regardé, il m'a dit, moi à la base, je partais en France. Je dis, ok, je comprends pas trop là comment tu t'es retrouvé en Côte d'Ivoire, parce que on peut se tromper, mais pas de cette façon-là. Il m'a dit, oui, quand je suis arrivé en Côte d'Ivoire, c'était une colonie française. J'ai dit, alors, je comprends pas, je vois pas le rapport. Il m'a dit, ah ouais, j'ai vu le drapeau de la France et je suis rentré. Et on est resté là. Et depuis, je suis là. Et honnêtement, moi, je suis fier aujourd'hui de vivre en Côte d'Ivoire, tu vois. Mon père me dit, il a vu le drapeau de la France. Il m'explique que c'était une colonie française. Bon, bien sûr, 4 ans plus tard, le 7 août 1960, l'indépendance a été proclamée. Et puis, mon père me dit, je sors dans la rue, je vois que le drapeau, il a changé de couleur. Et j'ai pas compris pourquoi. Il m'a dit, à la base, je croyais, moi, que c'était le soleil. Tu vois, le soleil, il a un peu touché les couleurs. Comment tu passes du bleu, blanc, rouge à orange, blanc, vert? C'est le soleil. Et c'est après qu'il a compris qu'il n'était pas arrivé sur le bon continent à la base. Et nous on est fiers aujourd'hui de vivre en Côte d'Ivoire parce que moi, en vivant en Côte d'Ivoire, je fais mes spectacles dans toute l'Afrique. Et je vis des choses qu'on ne vit qu'en Afrique, tu vois. On ne vit pas ailleurs. Je suis allé jouer au Cameroun, mon spectacle, il n'y a pas très longtemps. Les Camerounais, ils sont extraordinaires. Le Camerounais, c'est le seul public au monde, quand tu joues, il parle avec toi. Pendant que tu joues, tu vois, j'étais en train de jouer, il y a un gars qui s'est levé, il m'a dit, voilà, tu as raison. J'ai moi-même vécu la même situation, d'ailleurs, je vais vous raconter. J'ai dit, mais mon ami, tu fais quoi? C'est mon spectacle. Tu peux pas c'est mon spectacle. Ils sont extraordinaires. Mais le Congo, je suis allé au Congo, oh là là, mais c'est ça qui fait la force de l'Afrique. Au Congo, les Congolais, ils sont uniques au monde. C'est le seul pays au monde, le seul peuple qui se sont mis d'accord ensemble sur le fait que I allait devenir U et U allait devenir I. Ils se sont passés le mot et ils sont tous d'accord. Je suis arrivé, il m'a dit, ne passez pas par là-bas, c'est un sens unique. J'ai dit, mais pourquoi tu fais ça? Tu sais dire les deux, mets-les chacun à sa place. Ils sont extraordinaires. La première question qu'on m'a posée à l'aéroport de Kinshasa, vous avez une arme sur vous? J'ai dit non. Il m'a dit, tenez, vous allez en avoir besoin. Ils sont extraordinaires, les Congolais. Je suis allé au Gabon. Les Gabonais aussi, ils ont une particularité. Le Gabonais, il te répond à une question par une question. Tu lui dis, il est quelle heure? Il te dit quelle heure tu veux qu'il soit. J'ai demandé un jour à un Gabonais, pourquoi quand on vous pose une question, vous répondez par une question? Il m'a dit, qui t'a dit ça? Là où ils sont les meilleurs, c'est en Côte d'Ivoire. Oh là là, je suis arrivé en Côte d'Ivoire la dernière fois, j'ai donné mon passeport, il l'a ouvert, il l'a fermé, il me l'a rendu. Il m'a dit, il me manque une page. J'ai dit quoi? Il m'a dit, il me manque une page. J'ai dit, mais c'est pas possible, mon passeport, il est nouveau. Il m'a dit, réfléchis bien, tu n'es pas bête. Il me manque une page. J'ai mis 10 000 francs, je lui ai rendu, il m'a dit, la page a été retrouvée. Mais vous savez, mesdames et messieurs, là où je suis fier, là où je suis content, c'est que quels que soient nos défauts, s'il y a une qualité qu'on a que les autres n'ont pas, c'est l'amour qu'on se porte les uns aux autres. Vive l'Afrique.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, back to the awards. The next award will go to the energy deal, which has had the most significant impact. The winning deal has demonstrated a clear alignment to the African Development Bank High Five agenda, Light Up Africa. Before revealing the winning deal, let's discover one of the projects the bank, our high patron, has supported in Côte d'Ivoire.
Mon nom c'est ACORN Hamatou, j'ai 33 ans. J'occupe actuellement le poste d'ingénieur SI, planification, ordonnancement. Je suis originaire d'une famille nombreuse qui était très modeste. Mais ses parents ont compris que le plus beau cadeau qu'ils pouvaient faire à leur enfant, c'était l'éducation. Je devenais la première femme ingénieure de la CITI. L'investissement qui a été fait pour augmenter la capacité énergétique de la Côte d'Ivoire est très important. Travailler à CIPREL m'a permis d'acquérir des compétences. J'ai bénéficié d'informations en local comme à l'étranger. Ce travail m'a permis de me réaliser moi-même, me permet aussi de faire des projets d'avenir. Et que c'est vraiment une réussite et mes parents sont fiers de moi.
On behalf of Nedbank, we thank you for recognizing our contribution to innovation in the green finance space. Having structured and created an instrument which has unlocked diversified sources of funding, and having channeled this funding towards impactful green assets, we have been able to move the green finance space forward, build momentum in these markets, and introduce new sources of renewable energy into the global energy mix, consistent with the goals of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We look forward to concluding more transactions in this space as our quest to attract new capital and build a sustainable Africa continues. Thank you.
A massive congratulations to Nedbank for contributing sustainably to the Africa we want. The next winning deal also demonstrated a clear alignment to the African Development Bank High Five agenda, Feed Africa, which has the aspirational goal to make Africa a net food exporter by 2025, while unlocking the potential of small-scale agriculture in the continent. Before revealing the winning deal, let's watch a short video from the African Development Bank.
Ni ne Sha'ibu Yusuf. A yanzu haka na hayayyafa. Rayuwar da ni da tsohona ya mana aure na samu karuwa ta yara mutum 10. Tare da su muke har mu samu abin da za mu ci da kanmu. Amma fa noman nan muna samun matsaloli tare da shi. Amma sakamakon lokacin da wani malamin gona zo ya same ni nan karkashin gona na nan bakin kasuwa, ya zo ya ce min ga yanda zan yi in rika wannan aiki da shi. To da na ga ci gaban abin 110, kaga maimakon ya ƙasa sai ya hau. Don haka shine jin daɗi na da wannan takin Indorama.
African Guarantee Fund believes in the potential of SMEs to drive Africa's growth. While SMEs make up over 80% of Africa's private sector, lack of adequate financing presents a huge barrier to their growth. Operating in over 40 countries, we have unlocked more than $2 billion of financing, impacting over 20,000 SMEs, most of which are run by youth and women. Our commitment to empowering women-owned and led SMEs has allowed us to implement the Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa, AFAWA, which has a strong financial backing from G7 countries and African Development Bank. As our continent continues to fight the COVID-19 pandemic, our response is aimed at reducing the uncertainties facing financial institutions in Africa during this period. AGF has launched a COVID-19 guarantee facility that provides commercial stimulus to the financial sector with the aim of mitigating the deterioration of SMEs' perceived risk. Partner with us today and let's drive Africa's growth. African Guarantee Fund, a guarantee for African growth.
The next award goes to an institution who has considerably catalyzed funding into the private sector in Africa and promoted enterprise development by facilitating credit and access to finance for SMEs. They've done so by expanding SME-focused lines of credit, providing technical assistance to SME development institutions, and built SMEs' capacity via linkage programs with private sector investment. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is...
want to thank the award committee for awarding Bank of Industry the SME of the Year award. The award, it's a very important award for us because it means that we are working in line with the vision of the President of Nigeria that is trying to have at least 10 million people back in employment. And the support to SMEs will make that possible. So once again, we want to thank our President for the vision that we are running with. We want to thank the federal and the state governments who are partners in making this happen. We want to thank the commercial banks that gave us the various support that their customers needed for them to be able to access facilities from Bank of Industry. In the year 2019, with our various programs, we were able to support at least 14,000 youths. But we are saying in the year 2020, and based on this award and the recognition, that we are going to work harder to even do more than we have done. So thank you to everybody, and God bless.
Truly inspirational. Congratulations, Bank of Industry. The next award is for the best regional bank in Africa. It's for those institutions who have excelled in the banking industry in that region by reaching out to new customers, offering new services, adopting inclusiveness by bringing the unbanked into the banking space, and made use of new technologies, contributing to a stronger financial sector.
On behalf of our dedicated team at CIB, I'm honored to accept the award for Best Regional Bank in North Africa from the African Banker Awards. This award reflects the bank's vision to be at the forefront of change, building for the future and turning aspirations into reality. Whether it is access to energy or connectivity, African nations are working together to create equitable and shared growth. By increasing access to financial services across the continent, CIB is creating a more connected future for Africans. In 2019, CIB opened a representative office in Addis Ababa to serve as a bridgehead to a key trading partner and fellow keeper of the Nile River, and acquired the majority stake in a Kenyan bank, marking the bank's first cross-border operation. At the start of 2019, CIB had 10 correspondent banks in Africa. Today, I am proud to say we cover 18 African countries through a diverse network of correspondent relationships with 24 African banks. As we further expand our geographical reach, CIB will continue to explore and assess innovation opportunities in Africa, ultimately building a bridge for Egyptians to benefit from regional integration and business growth across the continent. CIB is not merely prepared for a future of change and evolution in banking, we are leading it. I look forward to what comes next for all of us. Thank you.
Just to deeply appreciate the recognition that our operation in 6 countries in the East African region is seen as one equity providing financial services, and that we are not just a Kenyan bank, but a regional bank. We are grateful.
Muito bom dia. Em primeiro lugar, gostaria de tomar esta oportunidade para agradecer o African Banker por tão honrosa distinção e, vindo de quem vem, é para nós moçambicanos, é para nós parte integrante do Moçambique, um motivo de grande orgulho. Num momento tão difícil para a humanidade como este que atravessamos com esta pandemia do Covid-19, gostaria também de tomar esta oportunidade para dizer que estaremos todos juntos e continuaremos todos juntos das nossas autoridades, dos nossos governantes, no sentido de juntos combatermos esta forte pandemia que assola a humanidade. Quero também aproveitar esta oportunidade para, além de agradecer os nossos stakeholders, fornecedores, clientes, staffs, enfim, todos aqueles que contribuíram e contribuem para o sucesso da nossa instituição. Quero também aproveitar a oportunidade para agradecer as nossas autoridades, os nossos governantes, o nosso regulador, pelo esforço conjunto que temos feito no sentido do engrandecimento do sistema financeiro nacional. A todos, votos de muitas felicidades e contamos convosco. Muito bem, parabéns.
Coris Banque Internationale, filiale du groupe Coris, opérant en Afrique de l'Ouest, est leader du secteur bancaire au Burkina Faso, et ce depuis 2016. Notre institution est cotée à la BRVM et fait du financement des petites et moyennes entreprises, depuis sa création, son cœur de métier. Au terme de l'exercice 2019, Coris Banque Internationale affiche de bonnes performances sur l'ensemble de ses indicateurs financiers, à l'instar des années antérieures, en captant de nouvelles parts de marché et en renforçant ses positions. Elle a bouclé l'année avec un total bilan de 1211 milliards, en croissance de plus de 5%, un produit net bancaire qui s'affiche à 58 milliards et un résultat net de 28 milliards en croissance de 13% environ. Elle a renforcé sa solidité avec des fonds propres qui s'établissent à 113 milliards en croissance de 8%. La stratégie commerciale centrée sur l'innovation, la proximité, la diversification des produits et services et la satisfaction clientèle a soutenu le rythme de croissance du fonds de commerce qui ressort au 31 décembre 2019 à plus de 769 000 clients classiques et digitaux. Dans un contexte sanitaire mondial marqué par la pandémie de la Covid-19, Coris Banque Internationale, pour faire face à la crise et accompagner ses clients banques de détail et corporate, a mis en place plusieurs mesures fortes qui sont entre autres le plan de continuité d'activité qui a permis de maintenir l'ensemble de ses prestations, le renforcement de la proximité et les conseils aux clients, ainsi que l'octroi de prêts, de facilités de trésorerie à l'ensemble de ses clients impactés par la crise. De par ces mesures, la banque réaffirme son engagement à accompagner l'ensemble des secteurs d'activité de notre économie et de la sous-région dans le cadre de ses missions de financement et de responsabilité sociétale.
A hearty congratulations and a poignant reminder that strong regions are the foundation for a strong continent. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to celebrate the most innovative and best achieving investment bank operating in Africa. The winner has encouraged and increased deal and transactional flow in the continent by delivering innovative solutions for investors and African clients alike.
It is with great pleasure that we receive this award. We strive to provide our African clients with the best possible investment banking advice namely helping them raise equity and capital to grow their operations across Africa and across the continent and beyond. We see this award as another evidence that our efforts and our focus have been somewhat successful, and that is a source of pride for ourselves, all of us at CITI in Africa. A final word to thank the African Banker for this award. We couldn't be more honored to be receiving such an award from any other institution other than the African Banker, someone that has done so much for the business community in the continent. Thank you.
Our next award is the Central Bank Governor of the Year. Very often on our continent, it's the big boys that make the most noise. The Egypts, the Nigerias, South Africas, and Angolas of this world. But when it comes to the indicators, human development, income per capita, tax receipts as a percentage of GDP, inflation, it's very often what are considered those smaller economies and countries that perform best and lead the pack, quietly going on about their work, but in the most professional of manners are our beautiful islands. This year's Central Bank Governor of the Year goes to Congratulations, Your Excellency Caroline Abel, another fantastic and wonderfully capable African woman. The Central Bank has been exemplary in its work, be it on transparency and guidance to markets in terms of its response to the current pandemic, in terms of playing its supervisory role for the banking sector and supporting digitization of banking and finance, and also in terms of working alongside other institutions to provide stability and a supporting local economy. The bank is playing a major role in supporting the local economy, which has suffered greatly from COVID-19, supporting the banking sector and injecting liquidity into the market, acting in unison with the different ministries to provide shock absorbers to the local economy, and acting in a manner that was timely and exemplary. Seychelles is really a model student in Africa and beyond. And our Central Bank Governor this year, Caroline Abel, is more than deserving of this award. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear a few words from her.
Distinguished guests, fellow bankers, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great humility that I accept the African Banker Award for the Central Bank Governor of the Year, which not only highlights the achievement of my role as governor, but shines a spotlight on the Central Bank of Seychelles. A central banker since 1994, I have witnessed the positive transformation of the bank to becoming the dynamic, autonomous, and credible institution that it is today. Like other central banks, we have had to adapt in the face of challenges. More than ever, the new reality presented by the COVID-19 pandemic requires us to reinforce our role as guardians of the economy and to adopt a practical approach to support and give confidence to the economy. The work is not done by the governor alone, but by a team of capable and dedicated individuals. Therefore, I would like to dedicate this award to the entire team at the bank who has been working tirelessly and making sacrifices to respond to the exigencies of the current crisis. Let this award encourage and inspire us all to continue working hard and uphold our credibility as we steer our economy through the storms. I also seize this opportunity to express sincere appreciation to my family for their support. I am deeply honored to receive this award. Thank you.
Beaucoup félicitations, Madame Abel. The winner of our Lifetime Achievement Award is a trailblazer in the real sense of the word. He has created, innovated, showed the way, and perhaps just as importantly, he has trained a legion of warriors who have gone on to develop financial services in his country of origin, but also across Africa. Private equity, for example, may have dominated headlines in Africa this last decade, but our winner was one of its pioneers on the continent. Today, leasing and its derivative products have enabled entrepreneurs and businesses to build and to grow. But 50 years ago in Africa, it was absolutely unheard of. Our winner helped build this industry in his country and beyond. Those who have had the privilege of working with him are in absolute admiration of his visionary leadership, as well as grateful for the guidance and support he has accorded them. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of our Lifetime Achievement Award has had a remarkable career in banking and finance. Our winner is... Congratulations to Mr. Ahmed Abdelkefi, a true African great. He is the founder of Tuni Invest Africa Invest, of Tunisi Leasing, and the investment firm Tunisi Valeurs. A Tunisian whose work and influence has transcended borders and literally impacted the lives of millions in North, East, West, and Central Africa. Let's hear a few words from Mr. Abdelkefi.
Bonjour à tous. Merci de m'avoir choisi pour cette prestigieuse distinction. Je la reçois avec fierté et un très grand plaisir. Je voudrais aussi la partager avec mes amis et collègues d'Africa Invest, qui, à partir d'une modeste entité créée en Tunisie, ont bâti un des plus remarquables acteurs de private equity en Afrique. Je pense aussi aux équipes qui m'ont assisté une dizaine d'années plus tôt pour introduire le crédit bail en Tunisie. Ils sont aujourd'hui présents en Algérie et dans plusieurs pays subsahariens. Ainsi donc, je suis en train de recevoir un Lifetime Achievement Award. Je pense que dans ce cas, le bénéficiaire doit dire ce qui a compté le plus pour lui au cours de cette période. Dans mon cas, je n'ai aucune hésitation, c'était le travail d'équipe. C'est pour ça que je dis aujourd'hui aux équipes que j'ai connues et à toutes celles que je n'ai pas connues, toutes les équipes africaines du secteur financier qui se battent aujourd'hui pour réparer les dégâts de cette épidémie, je leur dis, continuez, allez de l'avant, adaptez, innovez, prenez les risques, c'est votre métier. La crise d'aujourd'hui n'est ni la première ni la dernière, la vie continue, les besoins du continent sont énormes, bon courage.
This year's winner is a truly outstanding banker. His vision and work started a long time ago. A bank that he has managed to transform and grow into one of Africa's leading financial institutions through grit, determination, and a lot of audacity, taking on institutions much bigger than the one he helped found and lead. However, this determination and agility saw him realize his dream, and last year saw him oversee the biggest banking acquisition of the year on the continent. Congratulations, Herbert Wigwe, a banker but also a person who has supported numerous causes, as he is not only striving to transform banking in Africa, but also to transform Africa broadly. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the part of the ceremony that most of us have been waiting for, the award of African Bank of the Year. This award goes to the bank in Africa which has demonstrated a high performance across various metrics, both qualitative and quantitative. This year, we are also looking for leadership in terms of helping to empower women through lending to women-led businesses and also by promoting women to positions of leadership, as well as helping to extend credit to the real economy, namely SMEs. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to all the nominees, and the winner of the African Bank of this 2020 edition is...
We are grateful and delighted for the recognition and honor with this uplifting award. I salute all the other fine banks that were also nominated for this very notable award. I would like to give my sincere appreciations to the African Banker Awards and its sponsors for this 2020 celebration of excellence in our industry. With no further ado, I'd like to pass the baton to my valued colleague, the Chief Risk Officer, who will have a few things to say on this occasion.
Thank you. The good performance we're celebrating today is a result of various bold reforms and institutional capacity building initiatives undertaken by the bank in the last 5 years. The improved capacity has enabled the bank to achieve investment grade status, hence the ability to attract more partners. Thank you.
Congratulations, Trade Development Bank, for your outstanding achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2020 edition of the African Banker Awards has come to an end. We hope that you have thoroughly enjoyed it, even though we couldn't be in person to celebrate together. Congratulations again to all our winners. It was a remarkable year for you, and you deserve to be recognized. Thank you all for watching the ceremony, and we hope to see you next year. From myself, Nozipho Shabalala, it's goodbye.